10 years ago today, one of the worst mass shootings in California history. People gathering at the site of the shooting in San Bernardino to remember and mourn the 14 lives taken. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Jarrod Burguan covered that terrible day. A decade later, he talked to Jarrod Burguan, who was the police chief at the time.
Yeah, I've seen a lot in my career. I've seen a lot of gunshots. I've seen a lot of just terrible crime scenes. That would rank up there with about as gruesome as anything I had seen.
On December 2nd, 2015, San Bernardino Police Chief Jarrod Burguan was in a meeting inside City Hall when the calls started coming.
My first reaction was, he knows I'm in a meeting. What is he, he knows. But then when I got, a second phone call and then a text that said, I think the text said 911 or something like that, it was like, oh, okay, something happened.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Two shooters had entered the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino and opened fire on a group of employees with the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health gathered for a holiday event. Family members of those inside the room rushing to the scene, getting fragments of information from those who were inside.
Someone had come in and started shooting.
They locked themselves in her office. They seen bodies on the floor.
When Burguan arrived, he encountered one of his detectives who just walked out of the room where it happened.
I remember looking at him and I'm like, what do we have in there? And he goes, oh, it's pretty bad. I'm like, what does bad mean? Does bad mean 2, 10? He's like, more.
In all, 14 people were killed, 22 wounded. Not only that, but the shooters were nowhere to be found.
So we had a large incident and we had them get away.
Did you have any description at that point? What were you guys working off?
We had very conflicting descriptions.
But soon after, one of the people inside the room at the time of the shooting provided a possible name, Syed Farouk.
This particular witness had the observation that Syed had been at that event that morning. He had got up and left, which he thought odd. And then when the suspects did come in, there was something familiar about the suspect that triggered the Syed Farouk. So he told one of the officers when he was being evacuated that maybe this is somebody you should look for.
They were also getting reports of a potential vehicle description, a black SUV.
We were working off of the assumption that in all likelihood they were gone and that this black SUV, and we had put it out to the media.
But that's when a tip came in from a man by the name of Stuart Bowden, a tip that would be critical.
He gets home, sees the news coverage, and then realizes, well, I saw a black SUV on my way home. And Stuart Bowden's a very unique guy, memorized the plate. We've all kind of heard that story, right? And he gave that plate to the dispatchers when he called. And that came back to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Again, we've got investigative analysts in the background, have connections at Enterprise. That call to Enterprise verified that that particular plate, that particular car was rented to a Syed Farouk.
That's when undercover detectives were sent to the suspect's Redlands apartment.
And in the midst of having eyes on that, out of the side driveway was the matching black SUV that pulled out.
Officers then started following the vehicle. What followed was a fearsome firefight. The suspects firing more than 80 rounds, law enforcement more than 440.
Oh my gosh.
You could actually hear gunshots in the background. You could, at one point, you hear we have an officer down, right? Your heart sinks when you hear that on a radio.
That wounded officer would survive. The suspects were dead. As for Jarrod Burguan, he's now retired, but 10 years later, he knows that for many, life will never be the same.
I would like to see this process continue to focus on the people that were most impacted by it, because they had these complete wraparound services in the beginning, right? And everybody goes through this in a different way. And for some people, they don't want that, and they want their space, they want their distance, they want to grieve, and they don't want to be reminded of this. But there's also a part of people that were surrounded with so much attention and so much love and so much outpouring in the beginning, and then over time all those people go away and they're left to kind of deal with that by themselves. That's a balance that we have to really kind of be sensitive to.
Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.